Don't ever leave me.
Elena said that what we have won't ever be enough for you.
She's wrong. You're all I want.
It's good. Yeah, fine. We'll be back before midnight. The apartment's secure.
Did they find Leela?
Not yet. They've changed all the locks. Stay with me tonight.
No, I have to go home. I have to work tomorrow.
Anna, I'm not letting you wander the city when Leela's still out there.
I'm not wandering the city. I'm going home, and then I'm going to my office. Don't get on me about the job thing right now. I love working, and I have bills to pay. And I don't want your money.
I know. That's one of the things I love about you.
Mr. Gray will see you now.
Christian Grey.
I'm Anastasia Steele.
I had no idea it was going to be a trilogy. Absolutely none. It was written as Twilight fan fiction, and it was written a chapter at a time. And it went up on the internet twice a week as I sat and wrote, and I had no idea how long it would take, what was going on, where it would go. I just took it every chapter at a time, and it was great. And if you have enough people going, what happens next? You write the next chapter, and that's what I did. So 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker were effectively one book. So I had to find a place to divide them.
Anna.
Christian.
And then what became 50 Shades Freed was the third book. So I decided to split it up on a terrible cliffhanger, which is one way to get people to read what happens next.
I can't believe you just talked to him like that.
He wants what's mine.
What's yours? That's a little presumptuous.
Adapting a book is not an easy process. I've done quite a few movies that are adaptations of books, including the first 50 Shades. And Nell, who's actually Erica's husband, did the adaptation, which I thought was a good thing for us as producers because he lived with these books and the process of these books being written. So it made him an ideal candidate, as he was already a screenwriter, to do the adaptation. But to condense those 400 pages down into a movie is no easy task.
He did a really fantastic job of boiling everything down so that we got all the main set pieces and fan moments that would be expected.
Why are you here?
For you.
Erica was very keen that movies 2 and 3 should stick as closely as possible to the books and to the sense of the books and to the sense of the story. And of course, I was very familiar with the parts that meant a lot to Erica and to her fans. And I was very keen to see those properly included. I wouldn't let her watch over my shoulder. If she'd come in when I was working on the first draft of the script, I'd switch the screen off, say yes. And she would say, I said, no, when it's finished, when it's ready, I'll show it to you. But I was very nervous, actually. In the same way when you send your first draft of a script to anybody. So when I gave it to her to read for the first time, I was really quite nervous. And then I heard her in the next room, and I heard her laugh, and I thought, okay, I'm off the hook, because she was enjoying it. And we got over that first hurdle, really, of her accepting my work. And then we had to work together revising it. I mean, I'd hit a few bum notes here and there, and she helped me with it. And sometimes we'd have a bit of a ding-dong about particular scenes. I'd say, I really wanted to do this, and she would say, that's not true to the story.
He kind of went off and did his thing, and then he'd bring me a draft and say, what do you think? And I'd go, oh, this, and we're still speaking to each other, so I think that's probably a good thing.
Mark?
One of the great pleasures is getting to see this ensemble cast come back together and grow as characters, but also even as people, from seeing them from 2 years ago, and the interaction between both them as a character and them as people on set has been phenomenal.
Anastasia Steele?
The first thing about Dakota is that she's so intelligent. You can't get things past her. You can't ask her to do something with a bullshit reason.
I've never been on a project this long, and I've never been so densely a part of a project. So it's been quite an experience, and it's been this great honor to be able to tell this young woman's story.
Mark.
She was relentless in her pursuit of trying to make this character as real and believable as could possibly be.
Here, your new favorite flavor.
Each time she made a decision to do something, you felt, okay, yeah, that's what Anna would do. And if I tried to get her to do something that Anna wouldn't do, she let me know, and we didn't do it.
When I come over here and I'm here, am I blocking her light? Okay.
She knows exactly what the camera's doing and what it's seeing and how it's going to cut together. You know, I think if she wanted to, she could be a really good director. She just has a sense of the whole, which is unusual for an actor.
You can't start interfering in my career.
It's not about that. I've wanted to move into publishing. They're the best fit.
And Jamie, no matter what you'd throw at him, he'd say, okay, cool, I'll try it. And he would try it. So he was open to anything. He was prepared and had his own sense of what he was going to do. But if I threw a wrench into his plans, he just would adapt instantly and know what he was doing.
He was just very clear that he wanted to get the core aspects of the characters and not just thinking it's a film about sex. He wanted to try to bring out Christian the man and why he is the way he is.
You know, I had no idea what this was going to become. I didn't know you'd be different.
Is that why you brought me to Mrs. Robinson's, where you brought all the other women because I'm so different?
That was wrong, I admit.
You hear sometimes actors saying the fun part is playing the bad guy, something quite different than themselves. And he's not a bad guy in the movie, but Jamie is about as far from Christian as you can get. But yet he found that part inside of himself, and I think reveled in expressing it.
Where the fuck have you been? I told you to come straight here.
He talked to me a lot about making him more of a physical threat and toughening him up a bit. And he had me going to gym a lot more than the first one, and I'm substantially heavier than I was in the first one. But it made sense to me that this is someone who got in a lot of fights when he was a kid, obviously went through awful stuff when he was a child, and I think he wanted that to come across on screen more than it would have in the first one.
The movie has a certain fantasy quality to it. But what's interesting about it is that you've got these very serious, psychologically realistic actors who are playing in this fantasy. So it gives it a truth and a groundedness that makes it very believable. It makes you forget it's a fantasy. And Marcia Gay just has this professional gravitas of being a class act.
To bring this woman to life and to be a part of this trilogy, it's an opportunity unlike anything I've ever had. It's a huge opportunity. And to try to portray this archetype of a mother.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
She's a woman of means, a woman of maturity. She's wise, kind of funny. She's kind of cheeky at little times.
These things are beautiful, and they are mysterious. They're a pain in the ass.
But she's a real archetype, nurturing. I love that. And I do feel this sense of, we're back, we get to hang out a little bit. It really does feel family-like.
I've built a closer relationship with a lot of the other cast. We've had this sort of group experience, this sort of family experience, and that's pretty special.
Hey, Mark.
B Mark.
Action.
Congratulations, Mrs. Fiction Editor.
Right? She's a big deal now.
Walking down the street, people will be like, hey, I've met you before. Where do I know you from? Yeah, I've met you. I've like hung out with you. And I know like right off the bat that they probably saw the movie and feel like they're my friend because of the film, which I love. It's like the greatest compliment. He's so subtle, it kills me.
The whole group of siblings and friends are all very essential to making the movie real. And those actors were just great because they knew they were in supporting parts, but were really happy to be there and really took their work seriously. And sometimes if somebody has quite a small part in a movie, They can easily get kind of run over by the machine. They come in for just one day at a time or something, and this machine is going all the time with all the other actors, and so they can feel like, well, wait a minute, where am I, what's going on? And I'm quite conscious of that when actors in smaller parts, to give them as much attention and as much focus as anybody gets in the movie.
What do I get Christian for his birthday? The boy already has everything except a sense of humor.
I'm very much like Mia. Mia's outspoken, like me. Mia kind of puts her relatives in the hot seat, and Christian kind of tells Mia all the time, okay, stop it now, Mia, stop it now, Mia.
He got expelled from 4 different schools for brawling.
That's enough.
Totally out of control.
Mia, enough.
I'll be right back.
And the great thing about these guys, they had already a grounding in who their character was, and so it was just fun for me to expand on that.
And it's been really cool because my character, Jose Rodriguez, his journey now, he went from having a crush on Anastasia, and now he's kind of played the friend role, and I think he's accepted that more.
Hannah, you made it.
Jose, there's so much of my face in here.
Well, somebody likes them. They just bought all 6.
It was a lot of fun because they were so gung-ho.
You should be here. Why aren't you here?
Yeah, tell that douchebag brother of mine to take a day off for once, would you? It's an interesting sort of benchmark in my career to be involved with something with such a huge audience, and all over the world people were going crazy over these books. And then to step in and fill the shoes of a character that people already know is very different than playing some original material or a movie that people are just experiencing for the first time. There's a pressure to get it right. I wanted the fans to like what I was doing the way that they did in the book, and you don't want to let anybody down. So that's been an interesting way to approach it, and the fans have been wonderful. All right, bye, Anna.
Bye.
Great, cut. That was great.
This cast, they were all incredibly serious about it, committed to it, didn't demand special attention, but really appreciated collaborating with me and pushing their character forward.